Y'all already know. Welcome back, hot dogs and donuts. Now that we got that out of the way, look how it automatically boots me out of my live when I do that. I don't know why it does that. But hey, shout out to YouTube. They'll figure it out one day. But Rumble's like, what is he talking about? Yeah, as soon as I start the YouTube live, it gets canceled when I try to go to the clip button. But it only sucks because I'm trying to get ready to make clips. Clipping it. Oh, we got some more Unrelent content to review today. Shouts out to that guy. Appreciate him putting in all the work he does because that keeps me with something else to talk about. Till Toei gets off its ass, right? Of course, y'all know we got Springfield Spider-Verse Chapter 2, Movie 2, I should say, coming up the 28th. Yeah, the 28th. Definitely go ahead and get a hold of that because we will be putting that up.
So, you find yourself on the Unrelent Gaming channel. How fortunate for you. I, Lord Freezer, will spare your life as long as you subscribe and turn on notifications. Also, don't forget to become a member of Unrelent Gaming's Patreon for tons of exclusive content to early access media and much more. Do it now, or else.
What up, Big Smoke? Good to see you. How you doing? I was just telling everybody we got part movie 2, Springfield Spider-Verse. Synopsis review coming up on the 28th. Whatever day that is for you, right? Now you wonder how I left Bart Simpson dead in a new series, right? How is Bart dead? The same reason why Myrna's dead, but came back. Oh, that's the Vegeta with the mullet. Shout out to Lee over at First Floor Audio. He's getting ready to go live. I know this is going to be one hell of a show, so go check it out. Uh-oh, 17 and 18 can get 106 and cracked. Can't park your Android here, sir. Sorry. Cause you know some bullshit when Beer's getting beat the fuck up. Fireball. Yeah, we definitely gonna have to drop the transformation names and just come up with some crazy techniques again. Get rid of the hair swaps. Oh look, Broly just gets the fucking healed. Hey, everybody gets Zenkai's. That fucking Broly looks buff. I'm gonna be pissed off now for real. Yes, he has a bullet. Bring back the bullet. He just sitting there, hand on the knee, like, I still ain't did shit. Man, you and all your students can't fuck with me because I'm the big homie. Damn, Bears. He got 106 and flatlined. We're gonna keep making 106 references to where you think I would say park, but I'm not. Trolling you fuckers today. Hey, how you just yanked the man's arms off? Broly, get up. Oh, forgot, he ain't got no hands from to the bed. He said he fucked Broly and Beerus up. Beerus at least just got knocked out. Like, I like you, Beerus. I ain't gonna fuck you up. I would just park your ass. But Broly, Nope, he yanked that man's hands off. Oh look, now he started to get serious, right?
Now, I know it might be weird, maybe even a little bit sus, but just trust me, okay? Just shove it in your mouth, Catman.
Say what now? I will do no such thing, talking bug man, but what I will do is encourage you all to subscribe to Unrelent Gaming for the latest Dragon Ball content. And while you're at it, make sure to like the video. Also, don't forget to become a member of Unrelent Gaming's Patreon community for more exclusive content, early access, and much, much more. Do it now, or I'll destroy your planet, along with every taco.
Hey, don't just waste the goddamn thing. Pass it here.
I mean, he did just yank them pieces off like, nah, really. I don't want you touching me. Yeah, that's just violent.
What? It seems to be out of order! Sorry about that! This machine is definitely broken! Aha! You see? 203 points! That's more like it. The machine is working perfectly now! Thank you, thank you!
203 and she barely hit it. Come on now. Look at Krillin.
192 points! Yes! Finally! A normal score! 186! Another normal score! This is more like it!
With 86, that's above Hercule. He's suggested to be one of the strongest.
No! This is impossible! This machine is definitely broken!
Of course, this guy right here, right? Maybe he hit it a little too hard. See, Vegeta was that guy, man. He said, "Oh, a punching challenge. Oh, let me show you. I don't just punch machines. I fucking wreck them."
How fortunate. I, Lord Frieza, will spare your life as long as you subscribe and turn on notifications. Also, don't forget to become a member of Unrelent Gaming's Patreon for tons of exclusive content to early access media and much more. Do it now, or else.
Now, although with Goku and Vegeta's Omniversal Tournament training having to appear to reach its inevitable conclusion as they both prepare to finish what was respectfully started, I have a good enough feeling that we are going to be in for a very wild ride once the Omniversal Tournament is finally...
Upload that video.
finally called to officially begin.
response following their 2-month omniversal training sessions within said realms, to which as Goku was shown in having to undergo his training session with both Whis and Ivalco, was when Whis went on to then further address Goku by then responding, "Now while I am impressed to see that your body is still durable enough to continue to hold out despite him having it be put through rigorous amounts of strain and anguish, I can't help but need to have to ask you now if you wish to take a small break in the meantime, Goku," with Goku responding, "No, not until I am able to." "What did I say, Goku? Keep your eyes locked on the ground and do not speak unless I order for you to speak, and if your body wobbles like that again," Ivalco says, "even if it's just for a moment, then I am going to kick you with enough force behind my strike that it'll break every single bone that I make contact with throughout your body, Goku." Well, at least you didn't go on to fully turn your head this time, Goku. While I in
He
fact
said, "I'm gonna
actually
kick the
second
shit out of your
suggesting
ass."
and reminding you to refrain yourself from breaking your concentration when you should instead be focused at the task that is placed right in front of you, Whis adds. "If you happen to
While you
break
asking
your
him if he need a
reflexes
break,
again,
though,
or if I sense
right?
that your concentration is no longer aligned with the calmness of your
These
angelic
angels be
heartbeats,
training you
then I
like
will
a
be going
demon.
and joining my brother in carrying out the necessary means to break as many bones as
Yeah,
I
we gonna
possibly
kick the
can
shit out of
every
you.
single time I strike you, Goku." To which it was only during these very
Yeah,
moments
yeah.
now,
You want to
following
be
the
of the
2-month
Ultra
time period
Instinct?
with Goku now
Yes,
shown
we
on the
break
ground,
shits.
assumingly successfully being shown completing his omniversal training session, was when Whis went on to then quickly respond, "Well, despite through everything that it was that I had attempted in going and putting you here through, your training here alongside the rest of us here inside of the Angel Realm has finally been completed, Goku, and while I feel for you due to the lack of breaks that I have given you throughout the course of having you spend your days in training
Break
alongside
up with
myself and
Mountain Dew.
Ivalco as well, of course, as with Merlix, Cabix, and Henix Whis continues, I want for you to know that I am very much proud of everything that you were able to go and achieve in your ventures thus far here, Goku, as I will also be the first to go on to say that for everything that it was, you are also by accordance to what we as angels have both seen and experienced throughout our history, the first ever mortal warrior to ever go as far as to rival and contend against us angels in direct combat, and proving your worth by revealing to even the mightiest of my brethren of the unique gift that you just so happen to carry, Goku. And while you have went from struggling to register my movements during battle to later being able to call them out and counter them, Whis continues, along with having you be shown and holding your own against Ivalco despite with the amount of pressure that him and I had continued to place upon you through my own involvement in handicapping you, you had went and still found a way to strengthen your previous weaknesses, as your angel form has now undergone extraordinary refinement in not only allowing for you to sustain it for an extended periods of time that dwarf your initial attempts, but your angelic balance when wielding such power has also improved significantly as well, to which as Ivalco was then shown in having to slowly approach Goku was when Ivalco went on to then quickly respond, "While it is exceedingly rare that I am to go and offer my hand like this to any known challenger following such an extensive and grueling training session that was held for the purpose of evolving your angelic potential in preparation for
He
Lord
said, "You
Zeno's
coming up to face,
omniversal
boy? Hey,
tournaments,
you already,
I must go on to admit
can
that your
fight with a
prowess
real
in
nigga like
navigating
me.
the
So
angelic trials
shit,
has proven to be very exceptional,
as far as
Goku.
shit goes,
I
you
must
good.
go on to also
But
state
you know,
plainly
you
that
might
you
get
are
your
the
ass whipped
first
by
ever
somebody
mortal
else."
warrior to ever go and push into such lengths in direct combat like this before, and because of your rarity, I hereby offer you my respects as a fellow angelic equal, Goku, for you have earned that designation through your sheer determination and unyielding focus in proving that you are indeed worthy of standing within our respective ranks as one among our very own, Goku, to which as Goku was then shown in having to get up by shaking Ivalco's hand was when Goku went on to then quickly respond, "Wow, you really mean it? Well, thanks for that, Ivalco, but man, are you insanely strong." And as I couldn't go and thank you enough for helping push me in the ways that you actually did, because outside of your
These
brother
motherfuckers
Whis
just
and
be
another
like
really powerful individual by the name of
a real
Takira, you were
7 foot
by
tall
far one of my toughest challenges to date, Ivalco, and I
characters.
owe
Cause
you one for
Goku's like
this, so
damn
that
near
much I
6
can
foot.
go on to
Yeah,
promise you.
he's
Whis
5'8". He's
responding, "And your
Asian.
services in assisting me by furthering Goku's angelic evolution is greatly appreciated more than you can possibly know, brother, as I wish you
Gohan's
safe
coming in at a
travels wherever your
staggering
journey may
6
go and
foot.
take you," to which as Ivalco was
Not
then
too
shown
much
having
taller
to
than
get
his
ready
daddy,
to make
but you
his
know,
leave
taller
before
than
Goku went as
Goku.
far as to interrupt him was when Goku went on to then quickly
Little
respond,
mini
"Thanks for
freaks.
everything, Ivalco.
Hey!
Oh, wait, before you go, I was a little curious to know on what it was that you had mentioned when you brought up and having encountered someone with a similar energy to my own a little earlier, and well, I was kind of wondering, surely it wouldn't happen to be another version of me that you had been dealing with now, was it? With Ivalco being shown and having to turn his head by responding. So your curiosity has piqued, I see. Very well then, as I will tell you as much as I am allowed to go and speak about, Ivalco says, for it wasn't long ago where I had the duty of training a mortal warrior in tandem with Lord Beerus during a concurrent period of intense preparation while stationed within this particular reality, and while I had been training,
Yeah, that's that episode where Gohan was training with Lord Beerus. You get Ultimate Beast Gohan. Like I said, we're gonna start cutting out names. Okay, we're just gonna call you Beast from here on out. His transformations are beasts. He transforms into some type of animal. Somebody get him.
Especially when having to go and deal with that uniquely interesting angel form of yours, Ivalco says. And since you really wanted to know, his name was Gohan, and under the strict orders of the angelic corpse that I serve under, Ivalco continues, I am forbidden from divulging any further details concerning my duties or the specifics of that training encounter, but what I can say,
Now, what I will say about all the fan animations and them just, forgetting and not passing out transformations too often is that, they call it turning up the levels of power. So, every transformation is just another reason why you turn up. It's like Monday, this was my turn up. Now, Tuesday, I'm going to throw in what I did Monday a little bit. Then I'm going to, go even harder because it's Tuesday and there's tacos, hopefully. Shout out to Taco Tuesday.
Ivalco says is should the reunion between the two of us come sooner before I am sent out into another reality for my services, then I just want for you to know that the next time that our paths cross in battle, the outcome here between us will be much, much different. And so now take care of yourself, Goku, and good luck within the Omniversal Tournament, Ivalco says. Well, wouldn't you know, Whis went on to then quickly chime in, for it would seem as though Ivalco had already gotten a glimpse of what your lineage has to offer by way of accompanying your son during his training with Lord Beerus, I see. How very interesting. But while we shouldn't go and waste any more of these precious moments while we still have them, Whis continues, we should go and take this time in making the most of what we are given before we are summoned by the Grand Priest and the Omni Kings. But now that we have managed to go and successfully complete your training here with...
That's good. Fucking right there. I'm gonna let y'all screenshot that. There you go. Goku cracking them knuckles. Whis looking like, yeah, my guy's ready to get it in. Yeah, shouts out to that guy because, he put in the training, put in the work. Yeah, he said, yeah, crack them knuckles, Goku, because, you done put in some work. We used to look over there looking like, yeah, bro, you might 106 and park somebody. Yeah, just don't get parked, though, because, it's going to be a good tournament.
A few more hours to spare before the Grand Priest instructs for us to go and join him for the grand opening of this Omniversal Tournament. We will hereby go and take our leave as we make our way back home and onto Lord Beerus' home world, where we will go and resume with what is left before we are officially summoned, Whis says. To which all the while, in the meantime, when then having to venture on back inside of the realm of the gods and seeing as to how 2 months later Vegeta was also shown in doing similar training methods and routines to that of Goku, but in a different way, was when Beerus went on to acknowledge Vegeta by then quickly responding, "You better not even go and think about it, Vegeta, because we are only just getting started here, and until I am to go and tell you otherwise, then you are to go and continue until you reach 500,000 pull-ups as Moscow uses the full force of his mechanized suit, creating even more resistance for you for the time being, and once you are done, then we will go and cycle Moscow out in place for another god, as you will go and carry on by doing 500,000 more before we are to go and move on to the next routine, and so try not to go and lose your grip while you're being pulled down below," Beerus says. "Otherwise, I will go and reset the count back at 1 again, and so you better remain focused here if you know what's good for you, Vegeta." To which it was only shortly after, with Vegeta now being shown having to press on down by doing push-ups, with the massive Titanus having to be shown standing on Vegeta's back while he was undergoing said routines, was when Titanus went on to address Vegeta by then responding, "What's the matter, Saiyan? Am I a little too heavy for you? Well, that's too bad, because you better go and start getting used to it, because you have another 400,000 of those remaining before we are to go and make our way on over to the next course. And for the record, just so that we are clear here," Titanus continues, "if you think about hesitating, even if it's just for a moment, then I am going to make you regret ever agreeing to come here when you did, Vegeta, and so now keep it moving. And keep it moving Vegeta did, because despite what
So
Vegeta
got
being
this
shown
dude
continuously
is a
having to
giant
undergo
fucking
several
whale
different training
on your
methods
back.
as
Just
Prime and
yeah,
Beerus were overseeing Vegeta,
run
was
that
when
shit,
Prime went on to
Vegeta.
quickly respond, good, just like that, all the way until you reach the end of the bridge when getting to us, Vegeta, as you were to go and make your way across this bridge just as you had done the first few times, except once you reach our current location by the end of this walkway, Moltus continues, then you are to go and turn right back around and continue to walk down that very same bridge that you just so happen to be walking across until I am to go and give you the go-ahead in moving on to the next platform, to which many weeks later, as Vegeta was then shown crumbling on down to the ground and now successfully being shown completing his training session, was when Beerus went on to then acknowledge Vegeta by responding, now while I shouldn't be surprised when knowing as to who you are and all that comes with who you represent, I am not only proud to say that your training here within the realm of the gods has finally reached its end with succession, but I am also proud in having you represent our title as destroyers here with great and untold levels of admiration as well, Vegeta. Indeed, as I also second my son's assessment on you saying, Moltus Prime went on to then quickly chime in, for not only did you go and prove me wrong when I had first laid my eyes upon you and thinking that you stood no chance in surviving the onslaughts that you were shown and having yourself be put through, but you have done well enough in turning myself along with many of the others into true believers of your ultimate and great potential here, Saiyan. And because you have proven yourself in being unlike any other mortal warrior who has ever stood before the gods and lived to tell the tale of their acceptance, Moltus Prime continues, I offer you my deepest respects as a fellow equal in this realm of annihilation, for you have proven yourself as one of the
We
strongest
all know the boys
destroyers that
gonna
I
put
have
in
ever
some work.
witnessed throughout my
That's
entire
shouts out to
tenure as a
Team
former god of destruction. For you have
Prince
also
of
led to prove
Saiyans.
yourself beyond any
That nigga
shadow
go put
of
his
doubt
work.
as
That
a
nigga over here
true
is the
worthy
god
of
of
being
destruction
regarded as a
class.
hero
Like,
here
yeah,
amongst the gods, especially through the means
I'm now
of
the
you
strongest
finding
god of
yourself
destruction
having
ever.
to
But you
use
know,
that
type
destructive
shit.
mastered ultra ego
Type
variant
shit.
of yours, Saiyan.
I
You have
mean,
not
that's
only allowed
natural
for yourself to
progression.
grow and becoming far
He's
better
stronger
connected
than
and far
everybody
better
else. So then,
adjusted in
whenever he's
wielding such destructive power, but
yeah,
you were
he
also
quickly
successfully able
surpassed
to go
Beerus
and draw
finally.
upon its very
That's when
essence
most
and
people
honor
gonna
the
troll
gods during
Beerus.
your
Like,
grueling
yeah, we
battles with
passed
them here
Beerus a long
as
time
well,
ago,
Moltus
but
says. So
he's just a
reiterating
moving
from many,
goalpost
if you
for
will, Moltus Prime
Toriyama because he's a
continues,
troll.
as it isn't often where we
Are
go
they
and
stronger
find
than
ourselves
Beerus yet?
running into
No.
mortals such as yourself very often, Vegeta, and because I was
That's what
able to go
Toriyama
and
will
witness the
remind you.
very
They're still
fire
not
that
stronger than
burns within
Beerus.
your warrior spirit as you strive to become the very best of the absolute best, the praise that I offer remains fleeting in the grand scheme of what is about to go and take place within the coming hours here, Saiyan, as everything that you hold dear, including the survival and continued prosperity of your home and universe, as well as the validation of your newly crowned title as an unofficial appointed god of destruction, will all be on the line here, Vegeta, as failure is simply not an option if you wish to go and uphold the divine title that you have fought so fiercely to go and obtain, and so do bear the lessons that you have learned within our realm in mind when you are called into action, Saiyan, because as a warrior who embodies the true meaning of aggression and destruction within your very spirit, do not go and depart from this realm without first remembering your boundless potential through the essence of destruction that comes from within, Vegeta, to which as Beerus was then shown in having to take his leave by acknowledging Vegeta, was when Beerus went on to then walk away by addressing Vegeta in responding, let's hurry it up so that we can go and get moving now, Vegeta, for we are to go and make every use of every second that is made available to us, and so now follow me as we will be on our way, with Moltus Prime responding, good luck, Saiyan, for we await for your return, but if this will be the last time that we will go and be seeing you, then may the strength of the gods along with its ancestors go and guide you on your journey, Vegeta, to which it was only just upon with Vegeta now being shown and having to take his leave with Beerus, was when Beerus went on to acknowledge Vegeta personally by responding, you should be very proud in seeing as to how far you have came since the early days of when you were nothing more than a peon when compared to a god's power, Vegeta, but would you go and look at how much things have changed within such a short amount of time, as I am more than confident that we will be successful in our mission at winning this tournament based with what it was with the things that I have seen, and now that your training has finally been completed with all that it was to which we were able to go and accomplish with the amount of limited time that was given on us, you will now go and head back into Universe 7, where you will go and spend the remaining hours that will be made available to us on my planet, as I am more than certain that Whis will likely also be going and doing the same with Goku, Beerus continues, and so it's best that we go and get a move on so that way we can go and stay ahead of the game here, Saiyan. To which all the while during this time, when then having to venture on back within the tournament realm, also formerly known as the Null Realm, with the Grand Priest having to orchestrate and set up the entire Omniversal tournament before beginning, was when the Grand Priest went on to further address the Omni Kings by responding, "There we are now, sires, and with your God pads fully functional and granting you the full authority to shape the rules of engagement throughout the course of this upcoming tournament, let us now go and continue by addressing the four mightiest as I call upon the strongest to emerge before our very presence for the coming of a new battle that is near at hand," the Grand Priest continues. "For your presence here is no mere coincidence or by a random selection, as it is the deliberate orchestration of unimaginably powerful forces in order to ensure that only the strongest are to prevail across all known realities. And because I can now begin to sense the four of you having to approach us, I would like to hereby go and welcome you all back inside of the tournament realm for Lord Zeno's upcoming Omniversal tournament event, which is only just hours away from having it finally go and take place here," the Grand Priest says, to which it was only upon with Budo, Akuma, Yoshido, and Takira now having to emerge and having to make their presence known within the tournament realm was when the Grand Priest then went on to continue, "And because the four of you represent such an extraordinary concentration of both might and experience, then unlike how it was when you had found yourselves in facing off against Goku directly, this time, however, I have meticulously assigned each of you to your own separate bracket corners within this Omniversal tournament structure for the purposes of both balance and difficulty," the Grand Priest continues, "because should you prove in being successful during these foundational rounds," the Grand Priest says, "then the bracket's architecture will guarantee that your paths will begin to converge towards one another with a mathematical inevitability, which ultimately means that the likelihood of having either one of you battle against the other in order for you to go and claim your rightful places within this tournament will ultimately become a reality," the Grand Priest continues, "and just as it was before when facing off against Goku, you will be given 0 lifeline perks to be used during this grand event, as you are hereby instructed with the full weight of my authority to go and uphold the tournament's reputation through every action and every exchange until a winner is crowned," the Grand Priest says, "and as a collective, the four of you bear the heaviest mantle of expectation within this entire Omniversal tournament, with the only exceptions having to be our timeline's variations of Goku and Vegeta, and so if you are to go and advance precisely as the brackets predict, then your eventual meetings in both the semi-finals and final round against one another, assuming that this will be the case of course, will stand as the tournament's most crowning spectacle, and so do make sure to go and bear that in mind," with Akuma then having to quickly respond, "So now that we once again find ourselves in sharing the Null Realm alongside Goku and his mortal ally Vegeta, what exactly are Lord Zeno's rules for this coming event?" Akuma questions, "For I do not wish to go and be restricted, especially if we have unfinished business to settle here, Grand Minister," with the Grand Priest responding, "Victory shall be achieved through one of 6 definitive means during the course of this Omniversal tournament, which happens to include ring-out, submission, knockout, a 10 count, forfeit, or death, and subsequently enough, spectators and external elements that are not part of the battle arena are strictly under my direct protection, so any immediate action that is hereby taken towards them," the Grand Priest continues, "will be ultimately met with the full and immediate force of absolute eradication by ensuring that this tournament proceeds, for the response itself will be instantaneous and final, no appeals and no second chances," the Grand Priest continues, "as you will also find it notable that your throne areas will be seated right beside our very own over there," with Budo having to address the 3 strongest by then having to respond, "Then if these are going to be the rules by which this tournament will go by, then I want for the rest of you to understand that no matter which one of you I face off against when ascending up the ladder towards the finals of this tournament, I will use every possible measure that is available to me in order to ensure that I am victorious by the end of this. Am I understood?" with Takira responding loud and clear, "But just so you know just as well enough as we are all now made aware of, that the same measures will apply to you here as well, along with the other 2 if you end up in finding yourselves in having to cross paths with me," with Yoshido then having to suddenly chime in, "And it's funny that you assume that you'll even go as far as to make it that close if one of us doesn't already drop you out before having to reach the finals of this tournament, Budo, but with all of that, with what you both just set aside, you should be careful when having to overlook your competition here, fellow brethrens, because sometimes it is the element of the unknown that holds the key into unlocking the gateway to absolute victory," to which, as the Grand Priest was then beginning to ponder on the tournament itself, was when the Grand Grand Priest went on to then take note of this by having to respond, "Now in a matter of the coming hours, warriors of every conceivable caliber will soon flood this sacred arena, drawn at random from the infinite multiverses by the tournament's impartial overseers with no restrictions and no limitations, for this tournament offers no mercy and no second chances, especially when the consequences are a direct result of one's own inability and actions during this coming event," the Grand Priest continues, "which ultimately means that, as according to the Omni Kings themselves, for those who will fail to go on to reach the end despite their titles and given reputation, for those who will not emerge victorious by the end of this Omniversal tournament are said to be destroyed without a trace," the Grand Priest says, "and since there will be no judgment on those who will emerge, whether they stand on the side of good or whether they align with the side of evil, obedient to the gods or against them, all warriors will be judged fairly unless they are to go and warrant a response that dictates otherwise," the Grand Priest continues, "and while I imagine that this upcoming event will surely be bound to showcase some of the most intense and barbaric battles that will undoubtedly go on to further please the Omni Kings as they are given exactly what they have been hoping for in accordance to their wishes, I ponder on the sheer diversity of power levels that will soon be shown and having to clash here, each one with a potential spark that could ignite a cosmic upheaval if allowed to be going left unchecked, but among them all, the Grand Priest says, my thoughts especially linger on both Son Goku and Vegeta, because while I can already sense that they have returned from their respective training spaces and now having to appear to be far stronger and far more refined than how it was when I had last seen and battle against them exactly 2 months ago, while I anticipate a great number of things out of both of them, especially after gauging them both myself and pointing out their own individualistic weaknesses, I also hereby acknowledge the warning that must not go ignored, as they will not only find themselves in facing off against the 5 strongest within this governing reality, but an entirely new and impending landscape of unknown forces whose power tiers remain hidden within the shadows until the brackets of this magnificent tournament is finally set to be ignited, to which it was only right then and there now, during that moment, where the Beyond Dragon Ball Super Legacy of the Omniverse, the official top 5 strongest warriors in the multiverse sequel, manga chapter number 36 special, then comes to a close.
Well, actually, I'll go ahead and take it from here, as I do want to go as far as to address something very important with our dear viewers at the moment. As before I go and give you the following information, if you aren't already a member of Unreal's Patreon community, then you are truly missing out on so much without you even knowing, because not only is the next episode already on the page, but if you want to support all of the manga content that you see and gain access to tons of exclusives along the way that range from a variety of different things, then we do encourage for you all to become members of our Patreon community today, for we will link everything down within the description box below and pinned comment section as well. Now I will go as far as to say that not only am I extremely proud to see on how far both Goku and Vegeta have gotten since beginning their Omniversal tournament training with such little notice or even time, I am now beginning to sense the looming fog of war and mayhem starting to slowly surround in what will undoubtedly be an unbelievable event to be a part of. And with our heroes having conquered their previous weaknesses, whilst also discovering a deeper sense to themselves than they were ever shown in having the opportunity to go and do before, you do not want to go and miss out on what is about to happen coming up next. So we hope that you all enjoyed today's video, and before you leave, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up by smashing that like button on your way out, as well as also subscribing to Unreal Int Gaming's channel for tons of new Dragon Ball content. So with that, we thank you all so much for watching, as we'll be seeing you all again for the next one.
Now, I know it might be weird, maybe even a little bit sus, but just trust me, okay? Just shove it in your mouth, Catman.
Say what now? I will do no such thing, Talking Bug Man, but what I will do is encourage you all to subscribe to Unrelent Gaming for the latest Dragon Ball content. And while you're at it, make sure to like the video. Also, don't forget to become a member of Unrelent Gaming's Patreon community for more exclusive content, early access, and much, much more. Do it now, or I'll destroy your planet, along with every taco.
Hey, don't just waste the goddamn thing. Pass it here.
that shit would have been got.
Shut your mouth, it'd have been guy.
Hey, your name and I pay you back. You ain't gonna never have no money.
No, Michael, they got you. Ain't nothing but scuffle, man. Everybody made it back, though, right?
Nah, my chief had to go to bones, close your stitches.
He got hit with a brick. See him change clothes already.
He had to, yo. He stank me. Yo, Randy, man, that was the stupidest thing you ever thought of. But it was kind of funny when it happened, though. You know what I'm saying? Yo, you want something before he bounced? I'm buying. One fat soldier that stood tall.
I was down there.
Man, fuck you, dude.
So you get out all right?
Yeah. Hurt my ankle going around the corner, but
But you got away.
I wish you was all on Shaquan like, laugh now, stinky bitch, laugh now, huh? How you like this? How you like I cut your titties off, huh? Get the fuck away from me. How you like I carve your pussy to your chin?
Come on.
What?
Said leave him be, so leave him be.
I'm just saying.
Just saying. That's all you ever do. Just saying.
This shit was fucked up.
So what's fucked up? Yo, what happened to your boy? What happened to you?
Ain't nothing. You need to see how the other nigga look.
Ain't nothing. I can handle that fool. You ain't have to step two.
Oh, shit, no. You had everything under control. Look at your face. Of course, I recognize the other boy was high as all hell, and anything can jump off when it's like that, you know?
Yeah, he would have been on his ass if you ain't mixed in. I know one thing. I won't walk around with it on my neck for Walker to find.
He ain't gonna find it.
Crazy even taking a chance. If he catch you with it, he gonna break more than them fingers. Man, what up with you? It's like lately you going on, like taking off the mask, yo. What up with that? If Walker got a look,
He did.
well, what about the thing with you and Randy? Everybody now saying you threw that with him. Busted up boy Dimples in him.
Yo, you wouldn't have stood tall?
It's not what I'm saying. It's not that you do shit. It's how you do it.
Yo, look. I'm not trying to stand around and let no chump-ass niggas think I'm shook. I ain't. Yo, you see that door? Where the hinges broke? I mean, if he said they put the boot to him, them hinges gotta be hanging free.
I swear to him, yo. He wasn't trying to scheme me.
That little motherfucker took that shit for himself. Bet it. And now, you gotta step to him. Put something real behind them words.
Yo, I need to talk to the little motherfucker. Maybe you could do that with me. See it don't get out of hand. Hey! Hey, yo, Kanar. Why you lie to me?
What you talking about?
You said the police kicked your door in. I seen the door. They ain't kicked shit in. How you gonna lie?
Go on, man.
Well, where the package at, man?
Package up my ass, Gump.
Yo, mother.
You're about to. Go on, walk. Gump ass motherfucker.
Yo, I was talking too goddamn much. Go ahead, Nate. Get your pack off this bitch. So we could go. I ain't want it.
This nigga didn't even want his pack back. Nor got this shit beat out of him though.
What's going on, Mike? Now I'm gonna work this rope. Yeah, you working it like a gum. Well, let me get that rope. Man, I said you's a gum. Fucking dog shit and smelling ass nigga.
Hey!
Get man, fuck this.
Yeah! Go on! Get! Nobody wants you in here, no way!
I end up crying, Damon. Naaman. Oh, Lord.
Yo, yo, yo. Ah! Yo, bitch, this is some good stuff. Yo, for real. Yo, 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 what's up, yo? Yo. Yo.
Said guess what's coming for him. In the end,
Most Simpsons villains don't last. They show up, cause chaos, deliver one big joke, and then vanish like Frank Grimes over here. What's this? Extremely high. But the Simpsons broke that rule when they created the maniac with fuzzy hair, Sideshow Bob. So today, let's analyze the twisted mind of Robert Underdunk Bob Terwilliger Jr. and figure out how the Simpsons wrote the perfect villain, starting out with his
what
very
up, Tom?
first
Good to see
villainous
you. How you
scheme,
doing?
all the way
Thanks for
back in
coming
the
by
episode
saying hi.
Krusty
Y'all know to go
Gets
check her out for her
Busted.
birthday bash. Showing that ass for that weekend. I see you.
Oh boy, welcome to the theater.
inner kid to be super dramatic. So the episode kicks off with a unique glimpse into the kind of brain rot almost every kid in Springfield enjoys watching in their spare time. A megalomaniacal clown who absolutely adores attention.
Hey kids, who do you love? How much do you love me?
With all our lives!
What would you do if I went off the air?
We kill ourselves!
Yeah, season 1 had a lot of dark jokes sprinkled on in there. And accompanying him, a shirtless dude with an afro and kazoo who was unfortunate enough to be there. The sidekick who's always doomed to be the victim of Krusty the Clown's brand of crude slapstick humor.
Don't blame me. I didn't do it.
Just another day on the job for Sideshow Bob. However, things take a dark turn pretty quickly when Homer buys some ice cream on his way home. The same day the Quickie Mart gets robbed by none other than Krusty the Clown himself.
Help.
Judging by his reaction, this wasn't Homer's first rodeo with a robber in the Quickie Mart. With the Pooh store robbed yet again, the cops take their sweet time to show up and actually get Homer to draw them a decent sketch as soon as he stepped out of the chips. Despite having the memory and intellect of a goldfish, Homer actually managed to recognize the robber to be his son's idol.
Hey, what's going on here?
Krusty the Clown, you're under arrest for armed robbery. You have the right to remain silent.
This was back when Springfield PD was actually borderline competent under Wiggum. Brought to stand in a lineup consisting of 4 other funny-looking sad clowns, Krusty gets singled out by Homer and is officially declared a criminal.
Well, if the crime is making me laugh, they're all guilty. No, which one is the robber?
Proud of potentially shattering his son's dreams because something interesting
Homer
finally
just sitting
happened
there
in his
laughing.
life, Homer rushed home to turn on the news. Basically,
I
ruined
went
Bart's
ham
night.
over there
Wait a
today.
minute.
Did 2 different
Bart, you like
videos.
your
Hell,
lunchbox?
Oh, you mean Krusty the Clown?
He's sort of a
now
hero of
number
yours, isn't
3.
he?
Are you
Keep it
kidding?
poppin'.
He's my idol. I've based my whole life on Krusty's teachings.
Maybe you better run off to bed.
Krusty the Clown is behind bars tonight after a daring twilight robbery of a local Quickie Mart.
Krusty! Oh, no!
Instead of strangling Bart literally, Homer wound up doing something far worse, gifting him a core traumatic memory. Now that the entire town was talking about it, the next steps for Krusty were the ones outside the courtroom of Springfield City Hall. The Springfield City Hall. But before Krusty enjoys his time in the jury's limelight, we catch a quick glimpse of what Sideshow Bob and Krusty's relationship was really like behind the scenes.
Where he should have been condemned by parents and educators alike as fickle-minded TV mayhem.
Now that's quality children's entertainment at its finest. Back into a legal corner,
Oh,
Homer did what
shit.
any responsible
Krusty just
parent would
slapped the
do,
shit out of Bob.
shatter his son's dreams. With the kids left distressed and the entire town in an uproar, ready to burn the mere effigy of a once beloved children's television icon. A new hero emerged from the shadows. A sophisticated Harvard graduate who brought the class in a Class A misdemeanor. But beneath that performance is a man driven by envy, resentment, and a desperate need for recognition.
For years I have been silent, save for the crude glissandos of this primitive wind instrument. But now destiny has thrust me into the center ring.
If you ask me, I kind of liked him better with a kazoo glued to his mouth. Determined to raise the standard of children's entertainment for all the kids in Springfield, Sideshow Bob accidentally inspired Bart to start an investigation of his own with Lisa's help. Together, they returned to the scene of the crime to uncover some rather crucial evidence that turned the case upside down.
Wait a minute. Krusty can't read. Okay. So the poor guy can't read. Can't we get off his back already? No, don't you get it, Bart? How could Krusty have been reading a magazine if he can't read?
Hey, this is not a lending library. If you're not going to buy that thing, put it down or I'll blow your heads off.
The old voice actor for Apu really outdid himself with that one. The lucrative brand deals came pouring in soon after Krusty's arrest, and Bob's motives began to seem a bit more dastardly than what he initially painted them out to be.
See your face on keychains.
And water action ban and snow domes.
This is all very exciting, but I think we do well to explore the more upscale market. For instance, Sideshow Bob limited edition prints, collector's plates, commemorative coins.
Was Bob really thinking about the kids when he decided to frame his lifelong colleague? Now armed with the truth, Bart and Lisa visit the station to get some answers from Krusty's one and only right-hand man, only to be shunned and forced to watch him fill the shoes of their vindicated idol. Sensing Bart's suspicion, Sideshow Bob decided to gaslight the poor boy, only to regret his actions soon after.
I can shed some light on your problem in a new segment exploring pre-adolescent turmoil. I call it Choices.
I don't think so, sir.
Bart, I'm reaching out to you.
Funny how Bart didn't get to choose not to be part of a segment called Choices. Everything was going great for Bob, his plan was perfect, but Krusty knew Bob's biggest flaw was his ability to yap, which explains why he kept the kazoo on him at all times, and that's why he was barred from ever uttering a word on live television. Bob's own words gave the whole scheme away, but he desperately needed to have a voice after being forcefully silenced for all these years.
Fill. Big shoes to fill. Big shoes to fill. Increase. There was a school of thought called Stoicism.
Wait a minute. You did it.
Excuse me.
Attention, fellow children. Krusty didn't rob that store. Sideshow Bob framed him, and I got proof.
Fuck you, lousy, stupid, clumsy.
And there goes his chance of earning a living wage on WikiFeet while he's stuck in prison. In the end, Bob stuck to his faulty motive, claiming he wanted nothing more than to show the people that the kids deserved a better role model. But the truth was, for years, he was nothing more than a lackey who wasted his life for another clown's success. He wanted to expose Krusty for the years of abuse, but could do nothing but frame his former partner. The episode ends with him and his big feet rightfully being carted off to prison, and Krusty's finally allowed to pollute young minds once again.
Krusty! I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for these meddling kids.
Take him away, boys.
Treat kids as equals. They're people too. They're smarter than you think. They were smart enough to get me.
There's nothing quite as satisfying as ending a mystery on that classic Scooby-Doo callback. But things didn't end there. Since Bob was still seething with hatred after a nosy little boy bested him on live television, Bart exposing Bob didn't just ruin his plan. It shattered the public identity he built for himself after years of suffering under Krusty's thumb. And although Sideshow Bob was initially just looking out for himself and supposedly the kids, we'll see how he abandoned this message the next time he shows up in Bart's life in the episode of Black Widower. While Bob was once a somewhat honorable man for most, the truth is he was the same scum he tried so desperately to expose. A white-collar criminal who has yet to show how low he can truly go. The real mystery is how he managed to fit an afro inside that hat. But as if on cue, Bart sensed something was off and kept on his toes. Sitting at the same dinner table with the kid who got him locked up all those years ago, Homer started acting out his invasive thoughts. Marge lets Homer get away with far too much, man. Funnily enough, Bob had other reasons for being there. First, he talked about how prison had truly sent him spiraling down a hole he couldn't crawl out of on his own. He built up some sympathy for himself and then let slip how his animosity with Krusty never truly healed over the years, as the prison system slowly kept chipping away at Bob's sanity. At the time, Bob admitted he had also developed a brand new obsession, a habit of thinking about Bart almost every single day. At the time, even Bob wasn't aware of what truly fueled his resentment towards the kid. That longing for the boy eventually manifested into a blossoming, loving relationship with Springfield's most eligible bachelorette, Bart's aunt, Selma. Or so it seemed. In front of the Simpsons family, Bob painted out the narrative that he had finally reformed his ill ways, an elaborate setup for the scheme he was cooking up in his head.
Inspired by the love of a good woman, I resolved to be the best darn inmate number 24601 I could be.
In a shocking twist, he did the unthinkable. Or in certain cases, a false sense of superiority, too. And while everyone else falls for it, Bart's the only person who's willing to go the extra mile and question his every move.
Death do you part.
I do.
During their honeymoon, Bob started behaving rather suspiciously on the home video Selma had sent her sister. His mask of a loving and doting husband was slowly beginning to erode. What he was truly after was Selma's money all along.
Well, scourge of Prometheus, toaster of marshmallows, eradicator of dead wood. Oh, Selma, dear, you and your little camera.
And maybe a separate room with just him in that fireplace. Like a hound dog, Bart was immediately alerted to what was truly about to happen.
And MacGyver, 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 MacGyver.
Aunt Selma has 1 hour to live.
The kid can't even do simple addition, but deductive reasoning is apparently his strong suit. Okay. Now aware of how the villain actually thinks, Bart was on his way to forming a lifelong enemy by foiling another one of Bob's elaborate schemes. In fact, Bob couldn't help but be curious and even excited about how Bart managed to do it again. Tapwater, how's a third grader making the cops' jobs easy for them? This is when Bob realized what truly fueled his fascination with Bart. As someone who saw himself as a genius who could fool everyone, Bart was the one person who never bought the act and questioned his every move. For Bob's peace of mind, that person had to go. no matter what. Presents everything he cannot control. That's why the episode Cape Fear starts off with a death threat mailed directly to Bart.
You got a letter too, Bart? I'm going to kill you.
Yeah, who cares about penmanship when you're too busy bleeding out? Clearly trying to get under the kid's skin, Bob ruthlessly mentally tortures Bart and leaves him feeling anxious as a way to kickstart his revenge plot.
Oh my god! Someone's trying to kill me! Oh, wait, it's for Bart.
Things slowly begin to ramp up as Bob puts his Yale-educated background to good use by psychologically weakening a kid.
All right, this is dedicated to Bart Simpson with a message. I am coming to kill you slowly and painfully.
At least the tunes match the vibe. This chaos and nervousness was exactly what Bob wanted all along. He wanted Bart to anticipate his own impending doom in order to further sweeten the moment he finally gets to deliver the killing blow. Bart's death is the only way he can truly reclaim any control over his life now. Oh, heaven forbid he turned sane enough to purchase a pen. At this point, Bob's even willing to lie through his teeth during his own parole meeting despite the overwhelming evidence telling him that he's fallen off the deep end. And funnily enough, everybody's ready to believe him.
Doesn't it say die, Bart, die?
No, that's German for the Bart. The.
Apparently knowing German is quite the party trick. Practically ready to risk his new life as a free man, Bob's got nothing better to do with his life than to correct the one wrong that he can't get out of his head. He's now hunting his prey, trailing its every move.
So, Bob! You wrote me those letters. You awful man! Stay away from my son!
Oh, I'll stay away from your son, all right. Stay away forever. No. Wait a minute. That's no good. Hello.
Oh, Bob, if only you knew you'd be seeing him almost every 2 seasons. The justice system completely failed the Simpsons family. The only option they have left is to apply for the FBI's witness relocation program in order to keep Bart safe.
New identities.
Ooh, I want to be John Elway.
But unfortunately for them, Sideshow Bob hitches a ride and finds the perfect setup to finally enact his evil plots.
These speed bumps.
And like every Sideshow Bob plan, he chose the most painful method to get the job done. Despite knowing it would get him in trouble, Bob even continues to be open about stalking Bart and directly confronts the boy without worrying about him running away. It's as if he's confident about his every move.
Ah!
Down here, bud.
What do you want?
Yet despite that confidence, this bum is still hitching rides on other people's fuel. Later on, we see why his confidence is warranted, since he's been meticulously planning every single step of the way in his spare time. He's gone completely mad.
3. Surprise boy in bed. And, disembowel him. No, I don't like that bowel in there. Got him. Ah, limo just.
Even a jobless felon can afford a motel and a pen. What's your excuse? Now he's ready to hurt other people if it means he gets a chance at getting close enough to Bart. No amount of reasoning could ever convince him out of doing the unthinkable.
Mom! Dad!
Your family can't help you now.
Oh no! Dad's been drugged! No, he hasn't.
But no matter how ruthless and cunning Bob truly is, he's still incompetent enough to fall for Bart's attempts at stroking his ego.
Nah.
No, go on.
Well, you have such a beautiful voice.
Guilty as charged.
Uh-huh. Anyway, I was wondering if you could sing the entire score of the HMS Pinafore.
Very well, Bart. I shall send you to heaven before I send you to hell.
The self-obsessed maniac literally sang for a whole 15 miles just because he received a compliment. This shows us just how narcissistic Bob truly is and how eager he is to prove himself as an intellectual despite trying to commit some of the most uncivilized crimes according to society. And yet, ironically, the most unruly little boy winds up besting him every single time, simply using his own wits and nothing else.
I knew I had to buy some time, so I asked him to sing the score from the HMS Pinafore.
Ooh, a plan fiendishly clever in its intricacies.
Take him away, boys.
Hey, I'm the chief here. Take him away, toys.
What'd you say, Chief? Do what the kid says. Is Bart secretly a fan of the opera? Respect. Anyway, you know what makes Sideshow Bob so special? It's the fact that the Simpsons writing team managed to keep the tone light despite the dark subject matter, and somehow made Bob likable since he usually winds up getting what he deserves for his actions throughout the episodes he's featured in. That's partially what keeps him so interesting to watch and makes him such a memorable character. So after seeing how massively successful they were with this portrayal of the character, the writing team decided to double down on Bob's need for theatrics in the episode Sideshow Bob Roberts. This time with a desire to influence the masses yet again, Bob is back with a plan. Instead of wasting his time with chasing after an unstoppable child who's clearly smarter than him, even though he refuses to acknowledge it, Bob decides it's high time he starts influencing the people he's already good at duping.
Hello, Birch. Long-time listener, first-time caller. Kudos for bringing the public back to the Republican Party. It's high time people realized we conservatives aren't all Johnny hate-mongers and Charlie Bible thumps, or even, God forbid, George Bushes.
That sounds like Sideshow Bob.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't know what Lisa's worried about. He's as red-blooded American as it gets. The play first begins with a plea to the talk show host to rally a mob in his favor just because their political views align.
I've had it. I am going to make it my mission to see that our friend Bob is set free.
Well, despite Bart's objections, the people of South Africa can now vote in free democratic elections.
Bart got canceled after that. Nah, just kidding. It was a simpler time back then. Eventually, this plea takes shape into a protest, and Bob is deemed a political prisoner.
To the order of the Mayor of Springfield, you are hereby granted a full and complete pardon. Congratulations, Robert Onderdonk Terwilliger.
After testing the waters and seeing how the entire town was willing to eat out of the palm of his hands despite his attempted murder charge, Bob decided to kick things up a notch. Recommended as a candidate for the Republican Party, he was made to run against Mayor Quimby, as if it was all going according to plan. That is until Bart and Lisa decided to rain on his campaign.
That was a big mistake, Bart. No children have ever meddled with the Republican Party and lived to tell about it.
I've never seen a grown man be so uncomfortable around kids, but I'm also kind of thankful for it considering it's Quimby. Seeing Bart as a simple stepping stool rather than a full-blown enemy, Bob showed off how he's far more complex now than what he's given credit for. Despite his seemingly crazy actions in the past, he can still focus on larger goals instead of fulfilling his desire for petty revenge or preserving his now shattered public image.
Quimby supports revolving door prisons. Mayor Quimby even released Sideshow Bob, a man twice convicted of attempted murder. Can you trust a man like Mayor Quimby? Vote Sideshow Bob for mayor.
But that character growth came at a cost, since Bob was still doing the same thing that always led to his plans getting ruined, underestimating Bart Simpson. Before things inevitably go up in flames for him, Bob managed to get elected mayor fair and square. Or so it seemed.
Are in for Sideshow Bob 100%, for Joe Quimby 1%. And we remind you there is a 1% margin of error.
At least we know who Homer and Krusty voted for. Now that he finally got his way, Mayor Bob's first order of business is to resume his primary goal of making Bart's life a living hell. Picking a fight despite him knowing better is precisely what makes Bob such a good comedic foil to the Simpsons family.
So sorry, Mr. Simpson. Your house is blocking construction of our new Matlock Expressway. Now, I am a fair man. You will have 72 hours to vacate. At that time, we will blow up your house and any remaining Simpsons.
Once Lisa starts investigating the ballots, a secret letter leads her and Bart to a busy parking lot where they find Mr. Smithers. On a rare occasion where he actually decides to go behind Mr. Burns' back, Smither leads the kids down the right track. A deep dive into the voters' names leads to the Simpsons siblings finally uncovering the truth, but they weren't going to be the ones to reveal it to the public. That's a job for Mayor Bob himself.
Not the intelligence to rig an election by yourself, do you? You were just Barlow's lackey. You were Ronnie to his Nancy, Sonny to his Cher, Bingo to his rest of the Beatles.
Enough! Lies, lies, lies! I did it!
Rap snitches telling all their business, sit in the court and be their own star witness. With a few jabs aimed at his planet-sized ego, Bob sang like a canary in front of the entire jury, throwing all of his hard work under the bus for a moment of pure theatrics. It's funny how just a small nudge was enough to have him completely crumble when everything was going his way. His cartoonishly idiotic response to the kids was oddly characteristic enough to be believable and entertaining to watch at the same time.
Could have executed such a masterpiece of electoral fraud. And I have the records to prove it. Here, just look at these. Each one a work of Machiavellian art.
True Sideshow Bob fashion, he sang like a canary the first chance he got. Since he went through the effort of scrapbooking the entire plan so intricately, there was no way Sideshow Bob was about to let anyone else get any recognition for what he did any longer. Especially not after all the years he spent watching Krusty take all the credit for his life's achievements. Whether he goes to jail for fraud or not, his point was made clear. He's a high-class snob who needs validation over anything else in his life. Even while admitting his fraud, the only thing on former Mayor Bob's mind was the need to manipulate the masses into thinking they needed his superior intellect the whole time.
Me, Springfield. Your guilty conscience may force you to vote Democratic, but deep down inside you secretly long for a cold-hearted Republican to lower taxes, brutalize criminals, and rule you like a king. That's why I did this. To protect you from yourselves.
I'd say he better save it for the judge, but he's already in front of him. However, unfortunately for him, Bob's smooth-talking only landed him back in the slammer with yet another reason to try and mess with the Simpsons family once again.
Someday I'll have my vengeance. Someday, when I find my way out of this savage, roach-ridden cesspool.
Gotta love the American legal system. A season later, Bob practically tried to nuke Springfield when he ran away from prison in the episode Sideshow Bob's Last Gleaming. At least during that episode, he actually considered Bart worthy enough to kill his longtime rival Krusty along with himself in a surprise kamikaze attack on the stolen Wright brothers plane. Simmons kept going.
Die, Krusty! Die!
This entire episode felt like a badly written fever dream, dude. But with 5 entire episodes of content solely dedicated to building stories around Sideshow Bob, the showrunners thought it'd be best to stop throwing stuff at the wall to see what really sticks.
My crusade against television has come to an end so formulaic it could have spewed from the power book of the laziest Hollywood hack.
Instead, they attempted to spin a different angle with him by focusing an entire episode on a character who shares the same goofy traits as Bob does. And in the episode of Brother from Another Series, they did exactly that. Once a seemingly reformed Bob was recommended by Reverend Lovejoy to become a part of the prison work release program, he was happily reunited with a familiar face.
Cecil? Is it really you?
Hello, brother. I'm happy to see you.
But it's been 10 years. We haven't spoken since the unpleasantness.
They're both twice as annoying alone as they're together. This inclusion added a whole other dimension to Bob's character, and it showed us a side of Bob we had never seen before. A side where he actually treated someone other than himself somewhat like an equal.
Wonderful. You do know I used to have a problem with trying to kill people.
Goodness, I had no idea. For you see, I have been on Mars for the last decade, in a cave, with my eyes shut and my fingers in my ears.
Touché, Cecil.
The niceties didn't last long, however, when we were later introduced to the history behind Bob's past relationship with his younger brother and the reason behind their decade-spanning beef with each other.
I knew it. You're still angry that Krusty picked me instead of you.
I can't imagine what you mean.
Oh, come now. You wanted to be Krusty's sidekick since you were 5.
What about the buffoon lessons? The 4 years at clown college?
I'll thank you not to refer to Princeton that way.
So whether you're from Princeton or Yale, the end result's practically the same. It was a rare glimpse into the life of Robert Underdunk Bob Terwilliger Jr., Ph.D., before he donned the afro and became the Sideshow Bob we all know and love.
I have prepared a pie-in-the-face take.
All right, knock yourself out, kid. Hal? Free comedy tip, Slick. The pie gag's only funny when the saps got dignity. Like that guy. Hey, Hal, pie job for Lord Autumnbottom there.
Oh, dear.
Comedy truly peaked when people used to get pied in the face. Despite being laughed at and initially despising every second of it, Bob basically stole his brother's dream job just because Krusty called him a comedy genius. Safe to say, Bob definitely earned everything that came after he signed that contract with the Red-Nosed Devil. Even though Bob wasn't up to anything, Bart wasn't going to let his guard down to the maniac walking around Springfield like a free man.
He's planning something evil, I know it. Must have something to do with the town's water supply. Maybe he's gonna pee in the river! Nah.
Hawkeye Bob just can't keep to himself, can he? At this point, even Bart's grown to respect Sideshow Bob's unique brand of villainy, which really speaks for how complex their relationship has grown over the years. With Bob handling the construction of the dam while working under his brother, he was too busy to even want to kill Bart this time. They essentially almost traded places at this point.
I can't take much more of this. Rustic workmen who turned the Sanijon into a smokehouse. Coveralls that don't quite cover all. And a psychotic little boy who will not stop hounding me.
this little boy right here.
Ooh, how the tables have turned. Even with all the bad blood between them, Bob was actually legitimately concerned for Bart and Lisa's safety for a moment.
You two. Be careful! There's hydroelectricity in there!
Regardless of the fact that he wanted the dam to eventually collapse and consume all of Springfield Hole, he was actually worried for everyone once he figured out he was working on dud. This was the side of Bob that he had always wanted the world to see, which finally came out after years of spending time behind bars and having his plans foiled by mere kids over and over again. All it took was a reunion with a far eviler, greater, greedier person than himself.
Rise, to be precise. Cecil. Once I blow up the dam, there'll be no evidence of missing concrete, and I walk away with 15 million.
But everyone will know you did this.
Perhaps. Or perhaps they'll blame the master criminal. You know, the one who's been working at the dam and has a grudge against Springfield.
This scheme was far too elaborate for someone who always aspired to be a clown. The writing for this episode was absolutely genius. So far, Bob was just a villain committing heinous acts, mostly for rather vain reasons, but now he was a multifaceted individual going through an entire arc. Bob finally felt like a real person with real emotions, teetering on the edge of reform and insanity.
Oh, it's hopeless. Utterly hopeless.
Oh, I see. When it's one of my schemes, you can't foil it fast enough. But when Cecil tries to kill you, it's hopeless. Utterly hopeless. Well, if you kids aren't going to foil him, I'll have to do it myself.
Gotta love a good fourth wall break. With some degree of mutual respect for each other, Bart and Bob decide to trust each other and work together to bring down a greater evil. Bob even goes so far as to save Bart's life before doing something even more unexpected right after.
This is it. Thanks anyway.
You know, I could snip the wires. We'd fall to our deaths, but we'd save the entire town. But how would you like to do something incredibly noble?
Do we have to?
Yes.
Gee, I wonder how he'll get rewarded for this. From a 5-time convicted felon to a hero who saved his worst enemy along with a town he'd always despised for its lowbrow population, Bob went through one brick of a hero's journey, man, only to find himself back at square one all over again, even though he didn't do anything wrong this time. Perhaps this was karma for framing Krusty all those years ago.
Do this! I saved the children's lives! I'm a hero!
Tell them they'll live to regret this.
Oh, thanks a lot. Now I look crazy.
You'll live to regret this!
Here they go.
Yeah, Bob, throw your brother under the bus. It's not you, it's him. Although, at this point, Bob's story basically had a neat little bow wrapped up around it to, conclude it. In the episode Day of the Jackanapes, Bob was compelled to return to his old ways when something threatened the existence of his hard-earned legacy.
Well, I had a thing for Judge Judy, and frankly, Kent, those episodes were no big loss. The show didn't really get funny until we fired Sideshow Bob and hired Who's Its.
Those are my shows. You've erased my past. Now I'll erase your future.
Well, at least it wasn't season 12 of MacGyver. Knowing how to play the system, Bob saw this as the perfect opportunity to organize his own release in front of a judge and walked out of the prison in style in order to get started on his revenge plot. Returning to form, this is a point in Bob's life where he embraced a side of himself that he had long since abandoned.
What you writing there?
If you must know, it's an exquisite scheme for revenge.
Ah, revenge, eh? Half the guys in here are working on that.
What's the point of going back to his roots if Bob wasn't going to involve Bart Simpson in his plot somehow? Getting a job at the school, Bob begins phase 1 of his secret master plan.
It begins.
Believing Sideshow Bob to be completely harmless at this point, especially after the last time they tangoed, this time Bart was the one to underestimate his rather complicated archenemy.
What are you gonna do to me?
Oh, believe me, I have a plan. Let's see. Have Bart kill Krusty.
Krusty? That's the one man I would never kill.
Oh, you will kill Krusty.
I mean, how pathetic do you gotta be to have a third grader stop being afraid of you? Hypnotized into following Bob's commands, Bart gets strung along into Bob's intricate schemes of taking out 2 birds with 1 stone.
Chief, you might want to take a look outside.
That's it! Kill Krusty, just like you'll kill him tomorrow night!
With the plan in motion and Bart prepared to basically explode himself in Krusty's embrace, Bob's emotion-driven vengeance plan came to a grinding halt when something suddenly opened his eyes to what he was almost about to do.
There was a man who used to work for me. A man of grace and humor, but I mistreated him and drove him to a life of crime. So wherever you are, I just want to say, Sideshow Bob, I'm sorry.
Bro, why did this episode get nominated for an Emmy? Moved to tears, Bob's heart finally opened up to forgiving Krusty, and he wound up actually sharing a table with the same people he once dreamed about killing mercilessly for more than a decade.
Krusty, I'm so sorry about the attempted murder.
Will you stop with the sorry? Every time you try to kill me, my ratings go through the roof, you nut!
How I Met Your Killer. However, since Bob never really gets a happy ending in the show, the episode ended with him supposedly getting issued a death order by guillotine. And even though he forgave Krusty and shared a table with both him and Bart, Bob still wasn't quite ready to forgive the boy for basically humiliating him every time they met, apparently. Or so it seemed. Since in the episode of The Great Loose Detective, when the arch-enemies meet again, Bob denied taking his chance to finally put an end to the feud, showing that he'd grown rather fond of Bart over the years they'd known each other.
I can't do it.
Why not?
I've grown accustomed to your face.
I'd be fond of Bart too if I had his mouth taped shut.
I hereby swear. Vendetta!
What followed after was another attempt at completely wiping out the entire family in an elaborate scheme Bob cooked up after smuggling himself back into America in the episode Funeral for a Friend. With the help of his entire family, Bob put the Simpsons on trial and flipped the script on them entirely. Faking his own death, Bob showed how ruining his life and identity a second time was the straw that broke the camel's back. For any last hint of sanity left inside him, and literally his entire family of weirdos.
You have 87 years to get used to it, Father.
Crime family always sticks together, despite the challenges. As if he was the perfect foil to Bart's unruliness, Sideshow Bob continued to stay obsessed with the boy over the years despite his several attempts at trying to change. All of that effort once wasted led Bob to creating even more elaborate plans in order to remain close to the family that continued to ruin his life. That's why in the episode The Bob Next Door, Sideshow Bob decided it was time to keep your friends close and your enemies even closer. With the entire city in debt, this was Bob's best opportunity to make a splash in the Simpsons' local neighborhood.
Bart Simpson, no doubt you read about me in your nuisance neighbor disclosure.
Hello, Bart.
Huh? Say that again.
Hello, Bart. Hello, Bart. Hello, Bart.
Hello, Bart.
Hello, Bart. Hello, Bart.
Ah! Sideshow Bob!
Side what whom?
Leave it to the Simpsons to have a dude carrying fish look creepy as all hell. Clearly with nothing better to do, Sideshow Bob literally went so far as to create a fake persona and face in order to keep Bart spooked. Not only that, once Bart accepted the idea that he was someone else, Bob knew it was now the perfect time to strike. Like stealing candy from switching places with an innocent cellmate of his, Bob went so far as to disfigure someone else. With serial killer levels of obsession overtaking every single functioning brain cell he had left, Bob went to unspeakable lengths just for the sake of his chance at sweet, sweet revenge.
I began by removing Walt's face. 5-second rule. That was the easy part. The hard part was removing my own face.
Well, Bob, Detective Comics called they want their Joker storyline back. Just one look at Bob's bedroom was enough to leave the Simpsons completely stunned at the sight.
Man, that dude does not like Bart.
I'm surprised no one was shocked at the even uglier furniture slowly morphing into a monster. Bob basically went completely bonkers, but not enough to miss out on concocting a foolproof plan to finally put his arch-nemesis finally out of his misery.
Fire a gun in a second state. The bullet will travel through the third, hitting you in the fourth, so you fall dead in the fifth. No single act is against any law. But their sum total is the greatest murder since Snape killed Dumbledore.
Alas, things never play out the way we planned them to. Unfortunately for Bob, Bart never really fell for a scheme and his intuition ultimately paid off. Like the show's executive producer Al Jean put it, Sideshow Bob was always meant to be the wily coyote to Bart's roadrunner. A smart intellectual being who always underestimates his prey and finds his elaborate plans fall apart because of it. Channeling that same energy into creating the character allowed The Simpsons to accidentally write one of the most perfect villains ever created in animated history, in my opinion. And if you want another character breakdown like this, the next one's already awaiting. Click the link on screen to watch even more, and as always, guys, thank you very much for watching.
Of course, y'all go check out that big homie every day. See what new beats he got free to use. All non-copyrighted, just giving his credits somewhere, right? Right.